BRICS is dead since I mentioned that. BRICS died the minute I mentioned that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are living in an incredible time right now. Donald Trump is doing bold changes like we've never seen before. His recent comments about the BRICS nations is definitely setting up for a currency and economic negotiation, the likes of which we've not seen before. And I'm interested in understanding how that may affect Africa. Many African countries are part of the BRICS nations or trying to be part of the BRICS nations. And it begs the question, is that a good idea or not? We're going to discuss all of this in this video. And if that interests you, then stay tuned. For those of you that don't know me, my name is TJ and I'm Nigerian and British mixed. Although I grew up mostly in the UK, I decided to move to Uganda with my partner, Medina. I started this channel to document that journey. But what I've found is that coming out of the bubble of the UK and entering Africa has opened my eyes up to all sorts of subject matters that I talk about on this channel regarding the diaspora, regarding politics, and all sorts of things that I go through as a person who has one foot between the West and Africa. And so I've actually spoken about the BRICS nations before. What they're trying to do is not have to use US dollars when they're interacting amongst each other, and also when other countries want to interact with them economically, they won't necessarily have to use dollars. And the bottom line is, with Trump's new administration in the US, he doesn't take kindly to these kinds of moves.
I don't care, but BRICS was put there for a bad purpose. And most of those people they don't even want to talk about it now. They're afraid to talk about it because I told them if they want to play games with the dollar, then they're going to be hit with a 100% tariff the day they mention that they want to do it. And they will come back and say, we beg you not to do this. BRICS is dead since I mentioned that. BRICS died the minute I mentioned that. And I remember when Obama and Biden in particular, I guess he said that, they have us over a barrel. They don't have us over a barrel. We have them over a barrel.
I mean, this is very strong words here from Donald Trump. The BRICS nations have decided to pull together in order to do what? Force people not to have to trade in the US dollar, which would be massively impactful for the US in a negative way if the globe started shifting away from the dollar as the reserve currency. And they are doing that by controlling countries that have resources that everybody needs. Now, what you're looking at here is a breakdown of the resources that BRICS control. And the key one I want to point out is 90% of the world's rare earth elements.
Rare earths are essential for high-tech products. Everything from electric vehicles to mobile phones and even fighter jets.
China extracts 60% and processes 90% of the world's rare earth elements. So when Donald Trump is talking very forcefully and very strong, you've got 75% of the world's manganese, 50% of the world's graphite. You've got nickel, which is a non-insignificant amount of 28%, and copper 10%. I don't know how much that influences things. But my point is, the BRICS are not weaponless in their leverage against Trump. Here are real things that they control that America needs. So the idea that Donald Trump would just say the BRICS is dead, I think is just strong talk. They will have to negotiate. And that negotiation is going to be between Xi Jinping and Putin. The truth is, all three nations, US, China, and Russia, have significant issues right now. China's economics are not doing as great as they could be. Russia is embroiled in a war with Ukraine. US has all sorts of problems, including one of the biggest nations of debt that has ever existed. Now, they service that debt through the fact that they print the money and the world uses that money. But if that goes away, then America's got real big problems. So this negotiation has to actually be done pretty delicately. Now, this is significant for Africa because many African nations are associating themselves with BRICS and trying to get involved with BRICS. So if African countries align with BRICS and African countries become BRICS or become BRICS associates, what will that mean for their negotiations with US when the time comes? African leaders will need to be on their P's and Q's, understand their priorities very well. You do not want to be on the losing side of this negotiation, particularly when we have not pulled our finger out enough to be self-sufficient, which we could be, but we're not there yet. And again, I always harp on about how the integrity of our leaders matter in Africa. This is another example of how, if we could pull our finger out, these kinds of issues become much less important. We would have more leverage on the negotiating table. A lot of these African countries feel they have to join with the BRICS because they don't have leverage on the negotiating table. One thing to do is to partner with the BRICS nations, but another thing to do is partner with ourselves as Africans and also become righteous in our leadership in Africa, become uncorruptible in our leadership in Africa, because I believe those are the building blocks and foundations for Africa to become self-actualized and self-reliant. Then the US would have to come to us to negotiate, and it wouldn't matter so much if we were aligning ourselves with the likes of Russia and the likes of China. And now that I think of it, in many cases, it seems like Africa has kind of already chosen a side. We know Ibrahim Traore is very close with Putin right now, and they're making a lot of deals together. It is clear that you can see the influence of China, the way that Chinese buildings and businesses and even hotels and things like that are now normal to see in many African major cities. So I do not by any stretch think BRICS are dead. It remains to be seen if I am right about that or not, because make no mistake, US is a formidable military power and negotiating core. It is probably true that we all need US, and it very well could be true that we need US more than they need us. But I definitely do not think this is an all America leverage situation. The BRICS nations have plenty to bring to the table, and I think the negotiations will happen accordingly. Now, I'm sure you have much to say in the comments, but if you don't have anything to say, would it be terrible of me to ask you to write the word BRICS in the comments section? It just shows me that you're supporting what I'm doing, you like the channel, and you want to see more. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.